Hey guys, this is Angie, also known as Light. Welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk about narcissists and money. But before I start, I want to say that I am not a psychologist. I am just a woman that has had a lot of narcissists in her life. I was raised by a narcissist. My grandmother was a narcissist. I've dated many narcissists, long-term and short-term relationships. And one day I woke up and all my best friends, all my close friends were narcissists. I've had bosses who were also narcissists. So I'm not saying that what I'm saying is from a textbook. For me, psychologists see narcissism as just a mental illness, a personality disorder. I don't just see it as a personality disorder. I see it as a spiritual entity that is on this person. And that's why psychologists can't seem to figure out how to unlock these people. They say they can unlock them through therapy, but I haven't met a narcissist that has gotten out of narcissism through therapy. And what I've learned is that there are some psychologists who also got duped by narcissists. So unless you have experience with narcissists, you're not going to know how to handle this. So honestly, I don't care if you have a degree. I mean, I have one of my close friends is a psychologist, and she asks me all the time different questions about certain topics because she can tell you what the book says, but she has never experienced it herself. I'm not trying to take away from psychologists, but I'm just saying that I would rather take advice from somebody who's actually lived through it. So on my channel, I view narcissism as not just a personality disorder. I view it as a spiritual entity on that person. Okay. So please, I don't want to see people coming in my comments trying to correct me. Oh, well, narcissist, this, and that. Do that on another channel. Don't do it on mine. I'll just delete it or I'll block you, whatever can be done. Anyway, so my experience with narcissists and money. I hear a lot of people who talk about narcissists, they took their money, they used them for money. I don't know. I really can't say that I got used per se for money. I think towards the end of my friendship with my ex-narc best friend, I would probably say, yeah, he did use me for money or tried to use me because he wanted to move in with me, and I bought him some plane tickets to visit me, and all these different things he did for me. I did for him towards the end of our friendship. But I also experienced generous narcissists. But one thing I realized is that if you come across a generous narcissist, it's a payment plan to set you up so you can trust them. Okay? And for me, it's kind of like narcissists are like Satan in a sense. Satan gives all these celebrities and all these artists and stuff like that, and basketball players sometimes. They say, you know what? I'm gonna sell your soul. Sell your soul to me. And at the end, it's like you get all this glitz and glamour. But if you don't do what Satan says, if you don't do what the industry says, then there's hell to pay. They take back what they gave you and then some. And sometimes you'll lose your life. And that's how I view when you are dealing with a narcissist that does give you money. In the beginning of my friendship with my ex-best narc, he did a lot for me. he did a lot for me. I wasn't making much money. This is going back to like 2008. So I wasn't making money like that. And it's weird because he was a teenager. He was like 17 when he came into my life. And I found out later on that he would steal. He would steal to get me whatever I wanted. He would steal things. He would take money from his father. He would go to Walmart and steal something. He would do whatever he had to do in order to buy me things, because he didn't have the money. He was 17 years old. He did have like a little part-time job. He did have a car. But I found out later on that his dad was the one that was giving him money, or he was stealing things to just, basically satisfy and keep me, because he needed me as supply. He bought me clothes. One time he took me on vacation. I live in New York and he lived in another state. So he was flying back and forth. I wasn't paying for those plane tickets. He would get like a hotel room. When he came to New York, if I wanted to go out to eat, he will pay for me to go out to eat. He will buy me clothes. He'll take me shopping. He'll buy me anything I wanted. He's bought me jewelry, all kind of stuff. I mean, you name it. But towards the end of the friendship, he got all that back and then some. You know what I'm saying? It's like, once I started making money and I got a house. When I got my house, he asked, can he live with me? They gonna make sure they get their investment back. So if they do spend money on you, before they leave you, they gonna get what they put in and then some. Okay? And if not, it's always gonna be a control. Like, he would pay my phone bill and he would call me 20 times a day. Like, this isn't my man. This is my best friend. And he was gay. So what the hell are you calling me 20 times a day? Because I was his highest supply. He had me on lock, basically. He would call. If I didn't answer the phone, he would keep calling. He would keep texting. He would email until I answered him. And then when I answered him, he'll say, what were you doing? Where were you? And I'll be like, oh, you're crazy. Ha ha. No, he was dead ass serious. He'll be like, oh, I paid your phone bill, so you need to pick up the phone when I call you. And I never thought it was like, when you're in these relationships or you're in these friendships with people, you really think these people sometimes be joking. No, they're dead ass serious. They're serious. As my grandmother, she was a narcissist. She used her money to control. I was the black sheep, the scapegoat granddaughter. My cousin was the golden child, because my father was her scapegoat, but when he died, automatically I became his replacement. And my aunt died as well, and my cousin became her replacement. So I was the scapegoat that she, treated like shit, basically. Even though I lived with her, and she wanted me to live with her because she needed someone to be there when she came home every day, and she needed someone to vent her shit on and, go get me some water and, usually treat them like a slave, pretty much. That was me. I was that to go girl. She never gave me like money. Like if I went to her and I was in a jam or something like that, she wouldn't give me money at all. She wouldn't give me money. The cousin, one time in college, got caught selling weed, and my grandmother paid thousands of dollars to get her out of jail. She had to go to court. She had to pay a fine, and she paid for her to get off. She put her in an apartment. She paid for her college tuition. She pay for her rent during the time she was in college, bought her a car. I mean, the list goes on. I got none of that. She didn't pay for me to go to college. Even when I went to a trade school, she didn't pay for that. And not that she had to. Thank God I built up credit at 18 that I didn't need my parents, or my grandparents. Both my parents were deceased by the time I was 23 anyway. But thank God I didn't need anyone to co-sign anything for me to get to school or need a loan for something else. When it came to like my birthdays, I didn't get gifts. And if I did get gifts, they were old gifts that she found like in the house. Just random knick-knack stuff. It wasn't a gift that she went out and thought like, oh, Angie would like this. This is nice. Let me give this to her. With the cousin, the golden child, she would go out and get something that she knew that she liked. Like she likes sparkly things, like, loud clothing. She'll go out and get her a hat that, was sparkly, or a sweater or something like that. She'll give that to her for Christmas or for her birthday. I didn't get any of that. A lot of times, like, yeah, she would just go in the house. Like, if she had like a shirt that was too big for her, that she couldn't fit, she'll like put it in an old Christmas bag or a birthday bag and give it to me. Like, oh, I bought this for you. This is for you, knowing damn well she already had it in the house, or someone gave it to her, so she just gave it to me instead of, having to spend any type of money. And, my grandmother wasn't a poor woman. She could afford to get us, get myself nice gifts. I even had a narcissistic godmother who did the same thing. She would just re-gift things all the time. One time she bought me a blow dryer for my birthday. Now, I mean, I am a hairstylist, but I don't need a blow dryer. I probably own about 4 blow dryers. And I was her hairstylist at the time. She bought me a traveling blow dryer for my birthday. And then asked me, oh, can I borrow that blow dryer I gave you for your birthday? Because I'm going on vacation. So this bitch bought me a blow dryer because maybe one day she wanted to borrow it. Like narcissists, they do things like that. Hanging out with friends, they was other narcissistic friends. They were penny pinchers. They would pay for dinner. They would pay for drinks, but I think they would only pay for it because it was their decision. They wanted to go out, so they'll pay for it. If they think you have a lot of money, then yeah, they will do tricks and trades, and they will use you. If you're giving, they will use you. They'll do things. They'll say like, oh, you know what? My phone's gonna get cut off. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, sometimes they're not gonna come out all the time and ask you for things. They're gonna say it out loud. They're not gonna talk directly to you all the time. They're gonna say things that's gonna make you be like, you know what? I'll give you the money. They set you up. They're not gonna be like, oh, I want a glass of water. They're gonna be like, I'm sure I am thirsty. That's how they do things. They playing on you. Some of them are not gonna come out and ask you for anything. I remember when my mother divorced my narcissistic stepfather. He bought me a lot of expensive gifts. And I don't think he bought me those gifts because he loved me or anything like that. Because the narcissist really doesn't love anyone but them damn selves. And even if they do, I don't think they love themselves. They don't know what love is. They can't feel. But anyway, I really believe he bought those gifts for me because he was trying to make my mother jealous. After you done took her soul, her heart, her mind, her furniture, her clothes, her everything, My mother had to work herself back up to, after this marriage. And I felt like he was trying to get to her through me. So he was buying me like $300 coats and expensive boots and sneakers. When you're like 12, 13 years old, name brands are everything, for you back then. And he was, buying me all these expensive gifts. And back then, PlayStation had just came out. And he was just buying me these lavish gifts, and I know it made my mother kind of jealous because she couldn't afford those things. Like, he took everything from her. How could she afford to spend $600 on clothing just like that all the time? They use money as a weapon. So there are some who are going to be generous, and if you never had anyone be nice to you, you never had anyone do special things for you, you're going to fall into that trap in the beginning because you're like, oh my goodness, this person is buying me this, they're taking me here, they're doing all these things for me. Oh, they're so sweet. Like, I'm telling you, there are some narcissists who they will wine and dine you. And some people say that the honeymoon phase doesn't last long. I mean, I've had honeymoon phase last really long, or they'll do nice things and then take it back. They'll mess up. They'll do something evil, but it continued throughout the years. If you are high supply for them, and I've always been high supply for a narcissist. Like, I was in a 5 to 6 year relationship with a narcissist at one point. And he would spend money on me because if they really want you, they're gonna spend that money. They don't like it, and it's gonna come with complaints, and it's gonna come with a lot of control and boundaries and all these different rules and regulations to you getting that money. But they will spend that money. And one red flag I noticed is like narcissists. They will spend that money right away. And to me, that's not a healthy sign. Like, you just met me. Why would you spend XYZ? And sometimes some people are not narcissists and they do that. Some people are just, they're kind of, nerdy or lame or whatever. And that's the only way they can get you. But that's not a healthy person emotionally. Nobody should just meet you and want to spend money on you like that. Not large amounts. I don't care if they're a billionaire. That's not a healthy relationship. That's something that you gradually work your way through. And they shouldn't try to buy you. That's putting the price on yourself. I still right for someone to be a gentleman, take you out or whatever for first date, whatever the case is. But anyone that is want to splurge money on you, that's a red flag. Not saying that they're a narcissist, but it definitely is giving a sign that they are trying to buy you or control you. And I mean, there are some narcissists that will do nice things for you if you are their high supply. I've had a narcissist iron my clothes or rub my feet. I mean, help me do my hair. All these different things that a lot of husbands don't do for their wives. And I noticed that because I would be around other friends and they would see these narcissists do these things for me. And they'll be like, my husband don't even do that for me. Wow, he does that. And, they'll go out of their way to keep that supply. If you are their high supply, they're willing to put in for that money. But yeah, there are narcissists that will use you. They will take you for everything you got. They're taking your energy. They're taking your light. So if you had a lot going on for yourself, they're taking your light and your energy to flourish their life. Don't spend money on people right away. Watch their habits with you, and you don't have to pay somebody to love you or to like you. It should be okay, they paid this time, I'll pay next time. So just watch your spending habits with people before, give it time, because, money is important. I know to some of us, we don't really care about it because we're so giving. But be careful, because you could be dealing with a narcissist when you're giving too much. I'll continue to do more videos. Hopefully this video was helpful. Remember, I'm not a psychologist. This is just my own experience. Peace and blessings.